In the new era of college basketball, it is almost impossible to succeed without top-notch newcomers. So with the season less than a week from tipping off, we're going to appraise each Big East roster and identify the most important newcomer for every squad. In some situations, that means the best player. Others might fill a need the team couldn't live without. Whatever dictates their worth, we'll let you know what we think it is. And if the shiny new object will help their new schools reach full market value. Next on Big East Beat. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Big East Beat. We're part of the Big East Energy Network. I'm Matt Janus, host of the Holy Nova podcast, alongside my fellow Holy Nova cohort, David White, and Pirate Vibes host, Brian Webster. Boys, do you hear that? It's the seconds ticking away. The countdown is on until opening day. We've made it. We're less than a week away.
I can't believe we're here. It seemed like when we started this, it seemed like it was so far away, and now in an instant, now we're 5 days away when we're recording this.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love college basketball. I love the opening tip off. So let's get there. Can
we agree that watching the NBA is not like it doesn't fill that void? Like I've tried, and like the way they play defense and the way it's up and down, like I miss college basketball. It makes me miss college basketball more watching the NBA, especially the opening season where everyone's scoring 40 points every night and they're scoring 150 every game. Like I'm ready for real basketball. Like the coach in me is like, I like the strategy in a little slow down game, not run up and down and see who can shoot the most threes.
Well, the gap between college, at least for me, the gap between college basketball and the NBA is so much wider than the gap between college football and the NFL. It's a Grand Canyon size gap because, like you said, there's no defense. The guys on the floor are more of the coaches than the actual coaches. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
I can hear it in your voice. Big show on tap today. But before we talk Big East newcomers, we've got a little business to take care of. First things first, if you're not already, please subscribe to the Big East Energy Network. We are the place to turn for Big East coverage. We've got 12 shows covering the ins and outs of 9 teams, league-wide debate, and a show solely dedicated to big picture women's basketball coverage. Also, please like this video. Believe it or not, it makes a big deal, helping us get in front of more Big East fans. And leave a comment. We would love your feedback, even if it's telling Bryan how wrong he is about everything, or David.
Hey, relax. It's too early for this Villanova pig pile.
Or David, what a corrupt character he is. So, I mean, hey, it doesn't have to just be a Villanova thing.
Nothing but scruples.
Lastly, we have a special forum tomorrow on X/Twitter's Spaces. It's a Big East Roundtable presented by the Big East Energy Network. We've put the link on the screen here now, as well as in the description below. We hope you will join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Actually, that is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, as we are recording this show the day before. Okay, let's start with my hot topic of the day. First of all, kudos to Brian Webster for upgrading cartoon Matt Janus. Am I petty enough to have complained about the overstatement of how bald I was portrayed in the last cartoon? You know it. Do I know I'm balding at a frighteningly fast clip? What am I, blind? But the previous cartoon was taking out the all-important IMG from the equation. I'm balding, not bald. So kudos to Brian for letting me cling to the remnants of a once flourishing head of hair.
I felt like last week David took my side a little bit too much, so this time I upgraded the graphics. It's my version of sexy back for you, the cartoon.
Okay, back to basketball. While I'm quoting George Costanza lines, I might as well rip off Jerry Seinfeld bits as well. What's the deal with everyone saying exhibitions and scrimmages don't mean anything? Look, they don't count in the standings, and you shouldn't be wildly overreacting to them. If you win, it doesn't mean you're great. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. You're not garbage, except maybe Xavier. That performance in their exhibition debut was most troublesome. But In an effort to keep people from losing their minds, we have seen a drastic overcorrection on X from media and fans. Of course, these games matter, especially in an era we've never seen most of these teams play together thanks to the portal. These sneak peeks at the teams are way more valuable than the educated guessing we've spent all spring and summer doing. Am I the crazy one, guys? It just seems like we've gone way too far in terms of downplaying these exhibitions.
Before we go any further, this is coming from the same guy that texted me when Seton Hall lost their exhibition. So I just want to throw that out. I just like, it's okay for banter, but I agree with you. I think everyone puts too much into it. I know Seton Hall women have a scrimmage against a D2 school tomorrow, and I'm like, that doesn't matter except that they're getting a run. As long as everyone's healthy, I don't care about these. Like, I think they should all do what Villanova did, where you're charging admission, because in a day and age where you need to raise money, like it's an extra ticket, even if it's a little bit, and you get a discount deal. It's like the NFL with the preseason. So that is my only take. Seton Hall does too many private ones. So
I mean, I think as with most things in life, they don't mean nothing and they don't mean everything. It's somewhere in the middle. You get better every time you play. You just do. You get better in practice. Now you're getting better playing against somebody. Scrimmages and exhibitions offer different ways to get better, but it's not, if you lose an exhibition now, oh, you're a trash team. If you win, you're not, oh my God, you're going to win a national championship. It's one night where guys go out and it does nothing for the record. Improve. That's all you can.
It sounds like, coming from Holy Nova guys, you guys were jumping, oh, Acaden Lewis is the next greatest thing after the first exhibition. But it seems like Virginia kind of, let's mellow it down a little bit.
Oh, no, Acaden still looked great against Virginia. But
I think that's the point. You take what matters from these games. You can't throw that out. That matters. Yes, the results don't matter. I do agree with that. You get waxed, you should be a little bit concerned. But if it's a close game, wins and losses, it's just an extra couple of reps for the public eye. But how these players play and how these teams look, that is a big deal. And I just think we've whitewashed it way too far, going from trying to get people from jumping off the proverbial Empire State Building if their team loses an exhibition game. And I understand that you don't want that, but you also want to watch these games with a keen eye, because this is the best set of information we have on many of these teams, because against so many new pieces, and that is the perfect segue to what we are about to talk about. Newcomers are the single biggest X factor in determining the fate of pretty much every team in the Big East this year. So here's our game. We're going to pick the most important newcomers from each team and essentially rate his impact like a real estate property, using factors like fit, curb appeal, mortgage price, and what other buzzwords Bryan's realtor wife taught him. Bryan, I see what you did here.
You took my thunder here. You took my thunder.
I dragged you into the legal world a couple weeks ago because I used my lawyer's wife's knowledge to help trounce you in our debate. You had to go get your revenge, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt. I typed out my ideas here, and I got some real estate buzzwords. So I'm hopefully David will buy a lot of the product that I'm selling here. But an honest assessment about the basketball fit as well. So maybe this one isn't so much win losses. It's like what's David's opinion on top of what we're selling.
Exactly. This is less of him.
He's the broker. He's the broker.
Yeah, he's not deeming whether we're right or wrong, although he'll still probably find a way of mixing that in. But he is just going to let you know what he thinks of the newcomers as well. And because this is your game, it's your honor, Mr. Webster.
Of course, I'm going to start with St. John's. St. John's, Bryce Hopkins, he's obviously the big name. Rick Pitino's got an unlimited amount of funds, and he brought in this big purchase right here. A guy that sat out last year, a guy that was in conference. It seems like an MO of Rick Pitino here to steal one of your conference rivals' best player. No hard feelings at all. But he's got the deepest pockets, and that's what this is. This is a home, and I'm trying to pull out my inner Christina Webster. She told me to plug her name. She could be a real estate agent. She's multiple states, but
give out that website while you're at it.
www.livingsavannah.com. He can help you out wherever. But this is in a lot like New York property, overpriced. You're not going to get what you're going to get in my neck of the woods down here in Savannah, Georgia, or David's, even in Charlotte. It's overpriced. The school system's a little questionable. Sometimes the fit isn't the greatest. You've got to spend a lot of money to live there. Price of living is through the roof. I would say this is a terrible buy. It's an overpriced buy for me. I just think Bryce Hopkins is not worth the value that is rumored that they paid for. So that's where I'm going. This is an overpriced house. Your take, David?
I mean, we need to talk to your wife about selling houses. That was the worst.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not a
salesman.
I'm not the real estate salesman at all, man.
I haven't even gone in the house, and you told me it sucks.
The other listings, I'm a little bit more appeasing. I'm going to start with the worst and lead to the best, because the next ones I'm going to be like, oh, this is the reason why you need to buy this.
Hey, let me be the seller's agent for 1 second. I was at Big East Media Day listening to Ed Cooley, and someone asked him about Bryce Hopkins, and I was very interested to see how this was going to go, because Ed Cooley went hard after Bryce Hopkins. Remember,
did you ask Kim English too? Like that's you got to see both sides here.
Didn't mention that one, but to Ed Cooley's credit, he didn't shy away from it. He talked about how good a player Bryce Hopkins is, and how important his addition will be to St. John. So, for a guy that was jilted there at the altar, so to speak, and thought the reunion was coming, and it didn't. He still had nothing but good things to say about Bryce Hopkins, unlike his current realtor at the moment.
Well, if he says something bad about Bryce Hopkins, St. John's going to be Georgetown by 40. All right, like he's got to, if he, especially if Georgetown fans think they're on the bubble, like they can't lose by 40, 50 points too because of some comment he said at Big East Media Day, and all of a sudden Rick's just going to open up the floodgates. So Ed Cooley always playing chess. He's not playing checkers. You know that, especially in the media.
So I'd say my biggest concern is he's basically not played in 2 years. What's he going to be? I probably not buying this. I think that he has all the makings of a great player. I mean, he started at Kentucky. Obviously, his first year at Providence was really good. But not playing for 2 years is a long time to basically be off of a basketball court. So I'm going to take my realtor, Bryan, who is showing me a house that he doesn't want me to buy, and I'm not going to buy it.
It's a high-risk, high-vanity listing. Like, let's be real. That's what
not even sure why we drove by this house. We should have just stayed on the highway and kept going, but we're not going to go in. We're going to sell this.
Hey, I'm writing a counteroffer as we speak, so I'll be in touch with your wife, Bryan, to try to see if I can pick Mr. Hopkins up.
LivingSavannah.com. Shameless plug.
Very well done. Good brownie points for you. I'll go on to the next player. Here's my first listing. We're going to talk about Marquette freshman point guard Nigel James Jr. Here's my thing about James. I think his curb appeal doesn't do this listing justice. People often worry about a freshman handling the bright lights, right, of the adjustment to the college stage. This is a guy who learned basketball from his dad on the playgrounds of New York. At 6 years old, he was out there showing middle schoolers up in ball handling drills. He shies away from nothing. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel called him a ball-handling savant. Basketball Scout called him a ball-handling prodigy. Marquette brings back 7 of their top 10 players in terms of minutes per game a year ago. They don't need Nigel James to be the guy. They just need him to contribute, not carry the load. That's a big deal. Speaking of big, he got bigger. One of the reasons why he floated a little bit below the radar screen on the recruiting trail, he was 5'9", 155 pounds entering his 10th grade year. Went on a growth spurt, got to 6 feet tall by the end of that sophomore season. He stands 6'1", 185. He's solidly built. He's got good size for a freshman. He's learning how to use that size. He values the defensive end, and consequently, all the things that would keep a freshman from contributing, I think he has the ability to avoid those pratfalls. He's not prone to turnovers. He's very good handling the basketball. He embraces playing defense. I know Shaka Smart is hesitant to play freshmen, even highly regarded freshmen, but he needs another point guard. Nigel James Jr. fits that bill. David, I'm telling you, the curb appeal on this thing, it doesn't do it justice. This has a chance to be a pristine property.
So you're saying this is a little bit of a fixer-upper, or are we going right in? We're living in it because I like Nigel James Jr. I think he fits what Shaka wants to do. He's going to get in you defensively. Shaka wants the 40 minutes of havoc. So I think that he can come in, play 15, 18 minutes a game, be really good for Marquette. So I'd probably buy this property. We might flip it and sell it later. But right now we'll buy it, see what's going on, check the bones of it. Looks pretty good right now.
Shaka don't want to flip it. Shaka's going to want him to stick around for 4 years. I'd tell you that much.
All right, moving on to Omaha. Austin Swartz, welcome to the standout property in the neighborhood that already knows how to win. All right, I'm really trying to pull the inner Christina here. She told me to have 5 shameless plugs. I think I'm at 4. Curb appeal and community fit, immediate and authentic. Swartz is polished, and he joins a system that fits him perfectly. Neighborhood vibe is supportive. It's tight knit. It seems like a perfect fit from the outside. The interior layout, he's got the skills that kind of fits that system with Greg McDermott. The motion and spacing philosophy. He moves well in a set offense as well, and in transition, giving the coaches multiple looks. It's a flexible layout here. The value and long-term potential is excellent. You're getting a player whose skill sets complements a lot of what's around him right now, and also reduces the redundancy in skill set because he gives them something different. Upside, there's growth potential in the shooting consistency and defensive leadership, but I think Greg McDermott and his staff is a great fit for this. It's a family feel and community stability here, and I think this kid fits right in. This is a buy and hold gem, David. Like this is one where like you got to watch it grow because you know Greg McDermott's going to get it right.
So obviously this was a big transfer pickup from Miami. Didn't work out at Miami. We'll see.
Nothing worked out in Miami. Like in all fairness, nothing worked out in Miami.
That's true. So we'll see how it works out here at Creighton. But I do think he will fit well in the McDermott system, as much as I hate to say nice things about Greg McDermott.
Hater.
Yeah, I will throw jabs all day if I need to. So, yeah, this is a buy. This is an obvious buy. I think this is a good fit for him. I think it's a good fit for Creighton as well.
Did we check David's? Did we give David any sort of budget? I got a bad feeling David's just going to buy everything. Maybe we should put a limit on how many of these he can buy.
As an artisanal grass clipping collector, my budget is $3.4 million.
Oh, that is a good House Hunters reference. All right, right now, before we go on to the next one, what is your favorite? We're all married. We're all right around middle age. David doesn't want to admit he's middle age yet, but he's getting there, folks. Don't worry about it.
I realized it today when we did at work. We're going out and didn't invite me. I was like, ouch. Oof.
Yep. That starts to happen more and more often. It's very funny. All right, but what is your favorite HGTV house show?
I mean, it's got to be House Hunters because it's basically the show of why these two people should not be married because they want the exact opposite house. They don't agree on anything in this house, and I just want to know, before you went on the show, did you ever talk about, hey, what kind of house do we want?
Hold on. A guy that I work with is actually on the show last year. And they basically, so they already bought the house. This is behind the curtain. It's already bought. They go check the houses after they bought it. So so I made a game out of it. Do you watch it and you're like, that's the one they bought in the sense of just based off their reaction, not like you just wait until the third one and you go, oh yeah, this is the one they compliment. But in the moment you have to choose, is that the one that they bought? You can't wait for the other two.
That's a good way to do it. So do you have to watch a lot of these shows because you have a realtor wife, Bryan, as you
No,
ruin the show for us?
we might go on some binges once in a while, if it's laid back. But when you have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old, you're not watching that much TV. And I'm trying to watch college basketball. I'm not watching HGTV.
Yeah, there's a long off season, man, and you got to be a good husband. So I'm not going to pretend like I haven't watched many of those shows. And I'll tell you that House Hunters is the best, but I'll also go to bat for love it or list it. But my wife gets mad because I will list everything. I just want to buy a new house. I mean, I love my house, but like it's just you show me a new house, I'm like, oh, I'm in on that. Let's go get it. All right, next new property. Let's bring in our next newcomer. And here we go, guys. This is the McMansion. I barely even have to sell this baby. This is Braylon Mullins. David, can I interest you in a guy that virtually every scout projects to be a lottery pick? Most scouts see it as a lock. He's a lights-out shooter, not a good shooter. The kind of guy, if you give him space, just put it up on the scoreboard. It's done. The scariest part, though, is Danny Hurley says he's almost as good a shooter off the bounce as he is in terms of a spot-up guy. And on top of the shooting gift, he's got a defensive mindset. He's tough. He's smart. He takes coaching. Those aren't buzzwords that Bryan's wife gave us. Those are the words of Danny Hurley describing the tools and the traits that Braylon Mullins brings with him to Storrs, Connecticut. He has teammates surrounding him, so there's not pressure on him to take over every single game. He is the real deal. Now, there's one concern. As with all McMansions, there's always going to be an issue. We've got a little bit of a timing problem, okay? The previous sellers, they've got to wait 6 weeks. An ankle injury has popped up. Braylon Mullins is going to be out for the first 6 weeks from the injury, so probably the first 4.5 weeks or so of the regular season. Not ideal. It will set his progression back a little bit, but when you have that type of talent, not a ton to worry about. Plus, as I alluded to earlier, Hurley talked about the basketball IQ and said he was ahead. Now, he said he's still got to go out and earn all the accolades in actual games. But from what he did in practice, he was well ahead of schedule. So when he goes 6 weeks behind, I think that just puts him right back on track to where you expected him to be. And everybody expects him to be a lottery pick at the end of the year. So that's a pretty good spot to end up. This is prime real estate. Don't hesitate, David. You bought everything else. You better open up your wallet for this one.
I mean, you just told me I couldn't buy everything. So, what are the rules now, Matt?
Well, I'm in sales mode, okay? I mean, that was the arbiter, Matt Janus. This is the realtor, Matt Janus. Come on, stick with me.
Well, I want to buy this property, but I just sold my other one. I got to talk to the buyers there, make sure I can stay in the house for 6 weeks until he comes back. But of course, I'm buying this house. I got to go live in a motel for 6 weeks and buy this house. I mean, like you said, everybody's projecting this kid to be a lottery pick come, what? God, when is the NBA draft? Why am I blanking on things right now? But
month after the season, right as soon as the NBA finals ended. Every year, it's like, when's the draft? Oh, next week.
Yeah. So my brain doesn't work because I'm getting old. That's why the young kids don't invite me out anymore. Get off my lawn. This lawn, because I'm taking this house.
You're going to have plenty of yard space, too.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
He's a big
in Connecticut.
Kid. He's got that long frame, too.
In Connecticut, too. I'm going to be around the rich people. We're going to have fun.
That mansion's probably in Greenwich, down on the Gold Coast outside. It's not in Storrs, I can tell you that. Even though that house right there is in Storrs. But all these real estate houses are actually real estate from, I typed Storrs real estate, and that was the first picture that showed up. So all these are actually listings right now in the markets in the college towns.
Oh, look at that detail for Bryan Webster. Your wife taught you well.
I think for legality reasons, I can't recommend it. I don't know. My wife said I can't list the pricing and all that. So I'm not going to get into the legal world. After shamelessly plugging, I'm going to follow the rules. So I'm just telling you that these are all listings. I'm not giving you any other information without signing a contract for Christina Webster at ChristinaLivingSavannah.com. All right, going on to the next
Xavier.
one. All right, David. I got one for you. What's that? What's that, Matt?
I forgot about Providence, as I am wont to do after I destroyed them last week. So my bad.
All right, David. You're opening up the wallet now, right? You're buying a McMansion, a nice fancy house. I got one that has a high return on investment. All right, this one might not look as glorious as the property and stores, but Providence is a nice town too. Great Italian food. You like Italian food? It's pretty good there at Federal Hill.
Who doesn't?
This one's one that don't look on the outside. You see at this house right here, it's the traditional New England house, and then there's a lot of additions there. The inside is amazing. It's remodeled. It's hustle. It's everything that a coach wants inside. It's got great oak floors. It's got everything you want in there, right? Granite countertop, quartz countertop. Actually, I'm sorry, I read the wrong list.
Countertop. Buy it now, David.
And obviously it's unconventional, right, in the neighborhood. It's not the traditional Providence guy right off the bat, but this one comes with a great security system because he's going to protect the basket at a high rate. There's good value in this, a return on investment. It might not be somewhere where you're going to live right away, but it is one that maybe you could become a landlord. Maybe you can start your real estate empire by becoming a landlord here in Providence with Duncan Powell.
Well, according to some of the commenters, I think I would only be a slumlord.
You are a slumlord, no doubt. You beat me to your own. I appreciate that.
Problem with this property, Duncan Powell, I mean, he's been a journeyman. And
aren't we all though? Aren't we all like the housing market is so volatile? Like everyone's selling and buying all the time, man. Mm-hmm. It's like you can't judge it on that. It's got 14 owners. It's not a car. it has 14 owners. It's fine. Every house has 14 owners.
I just feel like he's been an average journeyman. I don't think he moves the needle. This house doesn't move me to buy it from the seller, so I'm done with this house.
It's crazy. Matt changes the rules right before Braylon Mullins, which is no one's going to say no to McMansion, right? No one, like, you live in Greenwich and you're along the elite, and he had the perfect timing because he knew I was coming up with Providence. He knew the whole list. So
last year at Georgia Tech, he played.
We're back to that Nova home court here, and that's fine. Whatever.
No, I mean, I just last year, his stats at Georgia Tech were not great. Maybe he improves this year. I think there's a lot for me to wait and see with this guy.
This is the team picked fourth in the Big East, by the way. I just want to keep pointing that out until I'm either proven.
That's the reason why they're so early on in the show. Like, honestly, I kind of went with the big teams right away, and I'm like, Providence is kind of the big team now.
Providence? Yeah, one of those teams.
All right, Matt, you ready? This is our showdown here. So, David, on this next one, we're both going to present options in Cincinnati, and we want to know which option we're going to go with. You're going to go.
All right.
So this is the only one that's it's win or loser here. So
because Xavier has pretty much their whole team is new, right? So it was going to be hard to pick just one. I'll let you state your case first.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with the one guy that's coming back. The only guy that's coming back. He sat out all last year on Sean Miller, but the new owner, Richard Pitino, loves this guy. It seems like they have bonded. Obviously, everyone else left and he stayed, even though he didn't have to. This guy comes from Boise State, spent a year at Xavier. First impressions, appeals, steady and understated from Boise State. I think the arrival of Richard Pitino introduced a new vision, a new architectural vision for the neighborhood. And Roddy Wilson, this actually kind of held up from the previous regime, the builder developer. He's coachable, obviously. He'll be on his fourth coach now in 3 years, I think, or whatever it is.
I love that. That's
there's always been a positive outlook, no matter who his leader was. It's obviously it's a guy that Pitino wanted to keep around. If value here, it's conservative, it's dependable. I'm pretty sure it's going to be dependable with Richard Pitino. This is a low stress addition to your real estate portfolio. Like it's gonna return on investment, and you're gonna love it by the end of the year.
You know what? I think that is a fair evaluation of that property. There's nothing wrong with that property whatsoever. It is a nice, you know, low floor, low ceiling situation. I'm going to try to give you a little higher ceiling, a much higher ceiling. We need tall ceilings for this one. Pape Nadaye is a 7-footer. He transfers in from UNLV, moved to the U.S. from the Ivory Coast in 2022. So he's still pretty new to high-level basketball, right? Last year at UNLV, his freshman season, the numbers in terms of quantity, they're not going to wow you, right? He averaged 3 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 1 block per game. Sounds ordinary. David, he did this in 10 minutes per game. 10 minutes per game. He's putting up that type of production. He's raw, but he's incredibly skilled. Second-year college jump. Plus, Richard Pitino is a developmental coach, so you give him some time to work with him. You know there's going to be improvement. Elite size, great instincts as a rim protector, big-time motor. All the scouts coming out of high school absolutely loved the way he runs the floor up and down every single possession, offensively, defensively. He was a top 100 recruit in the class of 2024. Kansas offered him, Boise State offered him, UCF offered him. These are all good programs. The UNLV coaches absolutely loved him. Pitino loved him at New Mexico, tried to recruit him out of high school. He's somebody you got to be patient with. This is a long-term vision project. We're going to put some love into this property. We're going to build it up, and we're going to turn it into an absolute gem. Pitino says every single time he plays, he gets better. So he's going to have to play. Xavier needs bodies. He's going to get lots of reps early in the season. By conference play, he's going to be a good one.
I feel like you guys have presented me two houses. One's got leaky pipes and one's got a hole in the roof. I got to decide which one's better. Both of these guys have their limitations. I think that, just being honestly, Roddy Anderson is probably in a better position from his floor. But the one thing you can't teach is size. You can't teach a guy to be 7 feet. He either is or he isn't. And I am a big proponent of size, as has been said on Holy Nova many times. So I think I'm going to go with the 7-footer. Plus, I mean, how can I, Matt, say his name again? How can I go against a guy with this name?
Pape Nadaye.
Yeah. I mean, I will never be able to pronounce that name because I'm a stupid American. But Pape, we're going with you.
As a journalism major, you know how hard it was to find those 3 sources to get that confirmed? There's only a couple videos on YouTube, and the first one had a different pronunciation than the second one, but finally we got it confirmed. That appears to be the proper pronunciation.
Man, I'm just go figure. David go with size and the Nova co-host. I'm just ready. I'm just ready for the comment of the week. Comment of the week, man. David, you and KB Brand have gone back and forth, like, and then the Big East Energy Network's responding, and KB Brand still comes after you. So they must think you're the commenter. So I'm gonna KB Brand. We're gonna start with there since they're the most popular commenter on our YouTube page, threatening my YouTube profile like a real Chicago alderman. Classic, ranking DePaul 9th. Days after the passing of cherished Sister Jean, you're really out here trying to replace her as the most disappointing thing to happen to Catholic basketball since the Vatican endorsed man-to-man defense, aren't you? That's harsh, man. Like, David, like even whoever runs our social media, it could be a bunch of people try to defend you, and then they just come back and say, not fair to bring Sister Jean up in Chicago. Unfair is the game plan. When you're judge, quotations. So obviously you're not a judge yet. Clearly understood. Even the Gambinos think your DePaul ranking looks suspicious. David, your response to KB Brand.
I mean, first of all, Sister Jean just out here. I don't know if she's catching strays or if KB Brand is propping her up, but I don't think Sister Jean is cheering for DePaul KB Brand. I think Sister Jean is up in heaven talking to God, and she may not. She's going for another Chicago school. But yeah, hey, Keep it coming, haters. I only call it fair. That's all I do.
And shout out to Mike Giunta 4560 entertaining pod. Keep up the enthusiasm. We love those comments. Leave a comment and you can be featured on here. Someone take the spot of KB Brand, because obviously KB Brand watches every week and is commenting.
KB Brand, keep it coming. No, David needs
yeah,
to be
KB Brand keep coming,
keep
but
it
someone try to
coming.
outdo them. Someone outdo KB Brand. That's my challenge.
Hey, if you come for the king, you best not miss.
And that was comment of the week. All right, Matt, we're going to go back over to you with your next one.
I think you'd better get another buy here, because we have spent the last couple of weeks discussing this guy on our Holy Nova show. Look.
Buy. I'm buying.
Acaden Lewis is a good player. He's a good player. Look, Brian, you think Acaden Lewis is a good player. He's top 40 recruit. He's a guy that the world wanted. He signs at Kentucky. And then Mark Pope comes in and decides that he wants upperclassmen, right, in his guard positions. He doesn't want to go the developmental route. So Acaden Lewis says, well, forget that. I'm going to go to a place where I have an opportunity to play right away. And, of course, then the world kind of puts Acaden Lewis on the back burner. Suddenly, he's not thought of in nearly the same stature that he was when he was headed to Big Blue Nation. Now, Big Blue Nation has shunned him, looking for upperclassmen. There must be a reason why. Look, Acaden Lewis has got to develop a better three-point shot. That is his crutch right now. So what we've got is a flashy build that has one or two projects, the three-point shot for Acaden Lewis, and a up-and-coming neighborhood would be the way to describe it right now. Villanova's surrounding cast, that's the big question mark right now. Acaden Lewis, believe it or not, is the true freshman. I don't think he is. There's going to be ups and downs. That's just the life in the Big East as a true freshman, but the ups are going to far outweigh the downs. He has a great handle. He's starting to develop a left hand. Excellent in the pick and roll game, which is Kevin Willard's bread and butter. And his decision-making has been pretty on point so far. He had one decision that, in his words, earned him a well-earned cuss out from Kevin Willard. That's pretty much a direct quote from Acaden Lewis. And outside of that, he only had one turnover in the first exhibition, took care of the basketball, did not turn it over the entire second half against a pretty good defensive team in UVA. He's got to be pressed into point guard duty. He's good. I mean, he's just a very good player. Needs to develop the three-point shot. So that's the project that you're going to have. But hey, David, you are an excellent craftsman. I have been to your house. I have played Pong on your homemade table. I have sat on your homemade chairs. This is the perfect property for you.
I mean, I have seen Acaden Lewis. I'm buying this. My only concern is that I'm going to get in a bidding war with somebody because, hey, my left-handed fly swatter business, it's not what it used to be. I can only afford $4.5 million now instead of the $6 million we had before. But we're buying this property. We're going to snake somebody out. I'm in. I'm all in. All in.
What did you invest in Brian Kelly's buyout? Is that what all that money is?
Obviously. Brian Kelly and James Franklin, just giving them money.
Why spend all your money on Acaden Lewis when you can have Bud Clark? It's basically the same thing, just in a smaller neighborhood. It's in a more up and coming neighborhood. It's not as posh, but you could have the standard house in this neighborhood that's rebuilding right now. You could, and instead of just being a part of the neighborhood, you could be the premier house in that neighborhood and still get the same house for a better value. Why would you not take that? Bud Clark, the point guard from Merrimack, transferred in. We have Bud Clark and you don't. I think Matt Janus sent me a text that was kind of stealing my line there with one of the women's basketball players on Villanova. But this is the guy that's good at changing culture here in South Orange. He's the curb appeal, maybe a little bit understated, but authentic. The floor plan, it's balanced and team first, right? He is ball dominant, but he's willing to make the pass. He's willing to play defense. A community effect. If you take over this house, and I know you've got excellent taste, David, and I know that you're going to be able to touch up the exterior, you could change the entire neighborhood like Bud Clark is going to at Seton Hall. Like with this purchase. So why spend all the money when you get the same exact house? Needs to work on a 3-point shot. Bud Clark's the same way. Like it's a little bit bigger in Villanova. Like Acaden Lewis is a little bit bigger. He's a little bit undersized, but you still get the same value. I just don't understand why you would spend all that money for Acaden Lewis when you can have Bud Clark that changes everything.
David, I don't know if you want this house or not, but I will say this much for Brian Webster. You've got to find you an advocate the way Bud Clark has found himself, Brian Webster. Nobody is selling harder for Bud Clark. Considering what we saw in the Realtor's first effort at trying to peddle that house, he really brought it that time.
Exactly. I'm a little concerned about your co-agent there. Shaheen Holloway looks like he might beat me up if I don't purchase this house.
It's changing culture here. It's an entire community. You'll be welcome in if you buy this house. Like you'll be part of the family. It's a family community. It's well worth the buy.
Talking about the Chicago Galoops, is Shaheen Holloway joining the New Jersey Mob?
It's Jersey,
right
baby.
now?
It's Jersey. It's Jersey. It's Jersey.
I actually did think that Clark's going to do well at Seton Hall. It does give me a little concern transferring up. I told Matt many times that mid-major transfers, they scare me a little bit. But I think he's a good player. I would buy this property. It's not a McMansion. It's a nice size property. Would buy it, see what we can grow into. So I'm buying Bud Clark.
Okay. I do have to pit this. I know it's not supposed to be a winner loser thing, and I know where this is gonna go. Acaden Lewis or Bud Clark. I know Acaden's a little bit bigger, but Bud Clark, I feel like they're similar players in the sense that they can't shoot. They're not great outside shooters, but they're able to run an offense and play defense. I'm just wondering there. I guess size matters to you, right? That's what you said in the Xavier thing, right?
Yeah, but not just that. I mean, Acaden Lewis is a freshman. If he sticks around,
he's a sophomore. It's a sophomore, so it's not that big.
He's a junior, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a sophomore.
Okay, here's the thing.
He's got 3 years left. I know.
Okay.
They have similar skill sets. I'll give you that. They don't have similar skills. Acaden Lewis is more polished, better skills. Well, here's don't take my word for it. Acaden Lewis is a top 40 recruit in the country. Bud, bless his heart, not quite as highly regarded.
A 20-point scorer in college basketball. So, like, I know you're going to say, well, the MAC is a lot different level, and I agree with that to a certain extent, but Acaden Lewis hasn't proved anything on the college basketball. So, like, I guess the pedigree, I get what you're saying. I love Acaden Lewis. I'm just arguing for argument's sake here. Like, I just want to be very clear with this. Like, I love Acaden Lewis. Don't leave me a comment about how Acaden Lewis is way better than Bud Clark. I just feel like Bud Clark needs a little bit more respect in the community and in the Big East Twitter space, really. I think he's being slept on more, and I think he can be where Seton Hall can get into 8th place because you have a guy like Bud Clark. Because I don't think they're that far off from the Xaviers and the Butlers and the Depauls.
So if I were to grant you the premise that starting right now, they have similar skill sets. They're similar players. Who do you think has the higher upside? Who's got the bigger ceiling?
Oh, well, one's younger. I'm like I prefaced the last statement. I'm just here to argue because Depaul and Villanova, and I feel like I've been picked on for the last 3 weeks here. So
I think
I'm just saying that we have Bud Clark and you don't, and I take pride in it.
I'll stick with Acaden Lewis.
Yeah, that upside, I'd go with Acaden Lewis.
That's fine.
All right, we're talking
we'll come back to this in March.
Hey, you know what? We'll come back to this. We will come back to this on this
December.
Evening. If you are watching this right now on Wednesday, you can watch this conversation on the Twitter Spaces. I'm sure this conversation will come up. Bud Clark, how valuable he will be. So make sure you join on X.com, and again, we will have that info for you on the bottom of the screen in the description in terms of how you can join us for that conversation. All right, we were talking about Chicago earlier. How about one that you can take to the bank, David? You can take this investment. It's going to grow for you. It's the ultimate flip, my friend. It started at Indiana. Kaleb Banks was there for 2 seasons. He played sparingly, 45 games, but only a combined 7 minutes per game. Let's be honest, Mike Woodson's super old school and perhaps too much so. He goes to Tulane, does Banks, gets tired of waiting. Terrific. And I'm not even sure that's a good enough or strong enough adjective. 15 points a game, 7 rebounds per game, 51% overall field goal percentage, less than 1 turnover per game, more than 1 block per game. He shot 63% on his 2-point shots. Struggled from 3. He's got to develop that part of his game a little bit more. The question in Indiana was perimeter defense. His lateral quickness was something that really bothered the Indiana coaching staff. They wanted to play him at the 3. Goes to Tulane, he plays the 4, becomes a shot blocker. Strong enough to do it at 6'8", 215. He can play the 3 and the 4. I'm going to trust Chris Holtmann to figure out what he can do to develop him defensively and also to scheme things to hide any deficiencies that he might have. His repertoire near the rim in terms of ability to score, I mentioned that 63% 2-point shot conversion last year at Tulane. The repertoire, the way he can score at the rim, the moves that he has, the way he can set up defenses, it's deep. It's ridiculous the way he can kind of just go into the bag of tricks. And with Chris Holtmann's scheme, and as you're trying to maybe work around another 3-point deficiency, that was Depaul's issue last year. Still a big question mark coming into this year. A guy that can score even when maybe the defense is in good position near the rim, that's a huge asset. Kaleb Banks has that. He struggled at Indiana. We flipped him to Tulane. We put a beautiful exterior on while we built the interior. Now the interior's ready to go. He's back in Power Conference basketball, and he's yours for the taking, David.
Well, KB Brand, tell me if Sister Jean is buying Kaleb Banks. I need to know what Sister Jean would take here. I would say my biggest concerns are the 3-point shooting. The fact is, as a 4, he got to the line about 4 times a game last year. I want him to be a little more aggressive and get to the free throw line because he shoots it at 73%. So
the moves were too good.
Yeah,
they couldn't get to him to foul.
So I think that Holtmann can take him, tweak some of this. I don't know if he's ever going to develop a 3-point shot that's consistently good, but I think he could be a great player in a high-low offense where he's free throw line extended. So I think I would buy right now with a little trepidation that I may get upside down in this house at some point in the future.
Well, one house you're not going to be upset. What's that?
We did this flip right. We did it right. Don't worry about it.
One house you won't be upside down on is Yami Butler. Of course, we're talking to 2 guys that host a show about Philadelphia basketball. So I had to go and find a construction company that built this house that is from the Philly roots, right? This kid played at Drexel the last couple seasons. This is a rehab flip with trend potential. Actually, you guys were asking about the HGTV show. What my favorite one was. I don't know if I don't even remember the name of it, but it was a mom and a daughter, and they used to flip Indianapolis. So this just came up. This is kind of like all those houses that she took over. The dynamic. There's curb appeal. It's modest, but it's noticeable. The core systems. This kid's athletic, slashing instincts, but it's still Butler. Like we get it. It's still Butler. With that Mata, nothing's super exciting over there. I'm trying to sell you on that the construction is built correctly as he came out of Philadelphia, playing for Drexel. The resale timeline, he's a senior, so it's short to medium term. It's got to be a quick investment here, a classic rehab flip. Like this has to be probably the quickest flip out of the entire listing, all these listings. I would say to buy into this because I think you could get a great return on your investment.
Hey, wait, before you make
Yami Butler playing at Butler at the hip.
Well done. Good. I'm a big guy on the dad puns. Before though, I let David make his decision. I'm going to say something that I don't normally try to help Bryan's arguments, but I've done the last several CAA men's basketball championships down in Washington D.C. and have had the chance to talk to the Drexel coaching staffs about Yami Butler. I mean, just such a great story. A guy that willed his way into being a college basketball player, and really he had size, right? When he got to Drexel, and that was about all he had. And they just taught him the game from pretty much the ground up. He worked so hard, and he has become a great shot blocker, but a competent offensive player. That was at the mid-major level. How does the offense translate to the Big East is a question I have still, but you root for Yame Butler. He is one of the stories that makes college basketball special.
Yeah, and I'd say my concern is for you looking at 4 years. Last year, obviously, great year, average 13.6. But does he return to the mean of those first 3 years in college? Or did he just get that much better over that last year? My concern is this has to be the perfect set of circumstances. You got to get in, get out, and get everything you can out of it immediately. The timeline is very short. I like that as a bigger guard. He averaged almost 5 rebounds last year. Love when guards get in there and actually mix it up and rebound. But I feel like the timeline's too quick. I don't know if I trust it. I don't know if I trust him picking up a new system. I don't know. I can't spend my money on that. I got a bunch of backers in my left-handed. No, I already used left-handed. That sucks. Sorry, guys. Sorry, KB Brand. I'm sure you're going to come for me for that one. But I'm going to sell on this one.
From the movie Major League, you have no marbles.
Major League 2. That's Major League 2.
Yeah, Major League 2.
That's a good reference there, Brian. I'll give you that one. All right,
yeah,
let's
it's relevant, right?
Very good. After 18 innings the other night, especially. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Georgetown. I can't believe Brian stuck me with Georgetown, the Holy Nova guy who has been.
Man, I just want before you get deep into this, I'll never, if I'm deciding who does what, I'll never take Georgetown. I'm just letting you know. Out of the whole conference, I'll take St. John's. I'll do all that, but Georgetown's just the one I'm not going to touch.
Tell you what, though. Look, here's the thing. I took the real estate code of honor very seriously. It's kind of like the Hippocratic Oath. At least that's what I understand from Brian's fantastic wife. And what's that website one last time? Let's get that fifth plug in, Brian.
www.livingsavannah.com and Christina Webster.
Very nice.
For all those Big East fans down in Savannah.
Hey, you know what?
Big East basketball.
If we do this show in December, there will be some Big East fans that are thinking that Savannah might be the spot to go. So maybe we'll have to revisit this concept then. But we're going to talk about KG Lewis, 6'4" guard out of Arizona, top 100 recruit in high school. Earned his way into the rotation through pretty crowded Wildcat backcourt. Pretty talented group they had out in Tucson, and Lewis made the most of his opportunity. He averaged 11 points, 5 rebounds per game, 3 assists even per contest a year ago, but he wanted more. This is a kid that's driven, and I think that as a result, it's a good bang for your buck and a listing that oozes with potential. So the El Paso native decides he's going to head east. He comes to Georgetown. The Hoyas, they need him. I mean, primary 2-guard who can also handle a little bit of time at the point. Last year, he struggled from 3. He can be an average 3-point shooter, though. And Georgetown desperately needs someone that can put the ball in the bucket from the perimeter. That's the one area where you wish that he was a little bit more polished at this stage of his career. But that's what I'm talking about, the oozing with potential. If he can just turn himself into an average shooter, which is not a wild leap, that's big for Georgetown. He had 49 steals, 31 blocks last year in a bench role. Kid can do so much. Georgetown needs someone to be the guy, right? That's what Ed Cooley is in search of. I think that's why he went so hard after Bryce Hopkins. That's the kind of mindset Hopkins has. They need that guy, and KJ Lewis wants to be that guy. Is he the most talented player Georgetown has? It's close. Is he probably the guy with the most swagger, the most it factor? I think he is. Good bang for your buck, listing with that just oozes with potential. Think that this has a chance to be very undervalued spot right now, and you don't get a lot of those in the DC market, Dave.
Yeah, you're trying to sell me a house in Georgetown right now, and
where'd you live in Georgetown when you were on the staff, David?
I lived in Virginia because I was smart and wanted more space for less money. But Matt, I think you're overselling this, getting him to a 3-point shooter. 18% last year.
I said average. Average
That
3-point shooter. I'm trying to get him to 30.
average is what? Hitting another 13 threes to
The
get
Georgetown
average?
guys tell me he's going to be 40%. That it was just a wrinkle in the form, and then he's got it figured out. And Ed Cooley's such a good shooting teacher that it'll be okay.
I'm not sure what
I don't believe that, but that's what the Georgetown guys
are drinking down there. But I'm gonna sell. Georgetown real estate market it's too rich for my blood right now for this guy. We'll see. I might get burned on this sell, but 18% from 3, you can't do it for me.
Fair enough. Matt.
Hey, Bryan, can we just recap that my commission, good month for me compared to you. You're going to have to go. I hope your wife sold a lot of houses in Savannah last month. You're hurting right now.
Oh, I'm not the sales. I already knew I wasn't the real estate salesman out of the two of us. Like, I knew that going into this.
Well, in fairness, the first half, the first house Bryan took me to, he told me not to buy. It was
Well, I was worried about your pocketbook. And then when I had properties that you could return on investment and get a better value for, you declined. So like I'm just not.
He took me to like a drug den,
a potential client here
in Queens, and said, "Don't buy this place." Okay.
The funniest part is he took you to a pretty nice spot, and then he crapped on it for that guy. I think a lot of people like Bryce.
Oh, I'm a blue collar agent, all right? I'm a blue collar agent. That's exactly what it is. Why the Big East is energy for you, Matt? The roundtable. Are you appearing on it tomorrow?
Unless I have been disinvited, I was scheduled to.
David, are you appearing on it? I don't know.
I'll do.
I really don't know who's on. I know Matt, and I know Mark is on it, and I know Bleeding Blue and Gray. Both of those guys are on it. I'm not 100% sure, but I know a bunch of us are going to be on it, right?
8 o'clock is generally bedtime, so we'll see how quickly these kids go to bed.
I think the Xavier guys are planning on attending too. That was the early indication. Casey's going to try to get there from the Rolling Jays or the Creighton podcast. The worst part is I probably lead our staff in terms of number of times watching Big East Energy Network shows, and yet I could barely remember the name of my own shows, but I have the hardest time remembering everybody's names of their podcasts, which makes it look like I've never watched a single one. But you can vouch for me. I'm out there. I'm locked into every single show. I just can't tell you what they were called. But
yeah, you always watch
can't tell you my kids' names half the time.
You watch way before me. Like did you see this or this was good or? Like I get the commentary before I get to see it, so I kind of got like the director's cut.
You got the annoying friend, is what it is.
All right, David, it's everyone's favorite time of the week. Maybe not KB Brands, but what's your pondering thought of the week? How do you like your cartoon? You officially made it.
I was gonna say I'm gonna, like Matt, say kudos to you. You slimmed me down a little bit. I'm looking.
Well, you can thank right Copilot. Copilot loved you. That's all AI generated.
Moving pretty good right there. All right, but this week, okay. Big question here. Does a straw have one hole or two holes? Is it one giant hole, or is there a hole on the top and a hole on the bottom?
Matt, you go first.
It never occurred to me to think of this in a trillion years when you first said it. I thought this was the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life. Of course,
and now he doesn't have an answer.
And then you followed up. I mean, I guess it is one big cylinder. It's not necessarily two holes, but there's an entry point and there's an exit point. So I'm going two holes.
I agree with Matt. I think there's two. I think the hole is the part that you enter the different level. I don't know how to explain it, but as soon as you go from outside the straw to inside the straw, that's the hole. I don't think the whole thing is the hole. Does that make sense?
Not at all. 0%. 2?
I think we know where David's argument with his wife fell on this one. You were arguing one hole, huh, David?
No. So originally, I was one hole. And then I asked a bunch of other people, and they said one hole, and they acted like 2 holes was ridiculous. So, like, the lawyer in me was like, no, we're going to argue this. I have argued all sides of this. I think I land at 1 hole. It's just, it's just 1 hole. Like, but I also look at a shirt. A shirt has a neck hole and like a body hole. Is that 2 holes? Are the sleeves different holes? Or are this all
I was
one
gonna
hole?
say, I thought a shirt had 4 holes. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
have went 4. I take it quite literally. If you're putting something into it, that's a hole. If you're taking something out of it, that's a hole. The water goes in, the water comes out. Those are holes to me. Especially since it's the whole mechanical design of the thing, no?
Yeah, I think so. But there are arguments on both sides. Comment section, seriously, you can go down a rabbit hole on this one. Oh, pun intended, for sure. But I think I land at one hole that goes all the way through the straw.
I'm going 2.
2.
All right.
Finally, me and Matt agree, and we're teaming up on David. Like, now I know what it feels like to be on the Holy Nova side.
Oh, good times. Hey, guys, but when we talk next, our next show, we're going to get to react to games and look ahead to the games we are most pining to see in the opening week of the Big East regular season. How great is that? We'll have actual games to react to, and we'll be able to look forward to what is to come. And also, I'm sure that we will come up with a clever game to play as well. It's part of our charm here at Big East.
Hot question. I guess this is our last one before the season starts. National champion picks. Go ahead.
Houston. I think Kelvin Sampson gets it done. I really do. I think he's run out of time. He deserves one. I can't believe he didn't get it last year. But I think I was leaning towards, again, I know I'm picking St. John's to win the Big East. I was kind of leaning towards UConn, but I'm just going to take Houston. I think their defense is going to be that good.
David?
I'm going to go with the Duke Blue Devils.
Man, that was my pick. I was just calling them to mess with you.
Part of this is because I think that
David, blink twice if you have been kidnapped.
John, is that okay? That was good. No, I think John Shire, I mean, he keeps getting there. I think eventually he's going to break through. The other reason to say this is maybe I'm just giving him some bad juju. I'll be wrong. Put a little negative juju out there on the Duke Blue Devils.
You are always wrong, so I guess that is one way to go. I'll give you that.
UConn. My pick's UConn. I think UConn's going to win the whole thing. I think Hurley is psychotic and so focused. And on the Big East Energy Network, we got a bunch of UConn fans that watch your show, so I'm catering to you.
Pandering time for Brian Webster.
And last question. How many bids does the Big East have? We'll leave it there. How many bids?
David, you go first.
So, I mean, UConn and St. John's, obviously. Creighton.
The question is, what comes out of the muddled mess? Do they get 1? Do they get 2? Or is it like a few years ago where they get none?
I'm going 4 bids. So 1 out of that muddled mess. I think that for some reason, I think it's more the committee is downplaying the Big East, and I think they get these like special projects they want to lift up, like the Mountain West a few years ago. So I think 4.
Well, it's their last season, right? It's most of their schools.
Yeah,
as we know it.
Pac-12.
Yeah. As we know it last season.
But yeah, I'll go with 4.
No, Brian, you go next.
I'm going 5. I think Nova and Marquette are added onto it. I think Nova, I ranked them the highest out of the 3 of us here. I think they're going to finish up in 4th. I love Kevin Willard. I think Acaden Lewis, even though I was just arguing Bud Clark, Acaden Lewis, I think Acaden Lewis will be able to lead the team. They just got to stay healthy, and they have to get off to a good start. I mean, Marquette, I trust Shaka to get a team to the tournament. We can argue about March, but I think Shaka has a culture there, and all those guys are their roles are gonna expand, and they have the least amount of turnover out of basically any power school, right? I think every power school that isn't any school in the country, really, right? Except like Army, Navy, and Air Force. Like they have the least amount of turnover. So I just think it makes sense that they'll be able to hit the ground running. And I think your bids are earned in November and December a lot, especially with this conference. And we need the whole conference to win in November and December. Seton Hall can't lose to Monmouth. Like that cannot happen, because then every time that Seton Hall wins a game in the Big East, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So
it hurt. It means something. It goes bad.
Yeah. It's like UConn losing to Seton Hall after they lost to Monmouth last year. Like that's a joke. And so our conference can't do that. But I think 5. I have faith in this Big East.
I hope you're right, Bryan. To be honest, I am a little bit more pessimistic. I'm stuck between 4 and 3. I think I trust Shaka Smart in the regular season enough to make it 4. Here's the grave concern. I'm a little worried Villanova's going to foul this thing up for the Big East. I think it's going to be rough at times for Villanova early in the season, especially with all the injuries that they have dealt with. If Acaden Lewis is as good as he has shown flashes of being, I think that that's a team that, as they get Devin Askew back, as they get Zion Stanford back, can surprise people in Big East play and might be able to sneak their way into 4th place. If Villanova has a bad non-conference and then finishes 4th in the Big East, from what we have seen the committee do to the Big East in recent years, I'm very concerned that could steal a bid from this conference, and that's how you end up with 3. I don't believe Georgetown's ready to get there. I don't think necessarily Villanova will be ready to do enough in non-conference to get to the NCAA tournament, although could be wrong. We'll see. I think Marquette gets it done, though. I think they finish 4th, and I think that's where you end up with 4. But I know 3 are a lock. I assume that you'll find a 4th. But parity could be a problem. And then if you have a team that struggles in non-conference, win a bunch of games in the Big East, that's how you end up with 3. So I hate to say it. It pains me to say it, but I actually do think 3. You could have 3 teams make the tournament and 2 get to the Final 4, which would be just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So I think
we didn't mention Providence.
Yeah. I'm good. We don't need to. I'm moving on.
I think the committee still gives the Big East enough cachet that those 3 that are locks, that get 1 that's right there on the bubble, and I think there's probably another one that's on the wrong side of the bubble.
Xavier last year.
Yeah, I think 4 is a solid number, and we're probably going to be looking at the first 4 out or next, like whatever those 8 teams are that are left out, and saying one of those is going to be a Big East team that we're going to argue should have been in over whoever the last team in was.
But Bryan's right. You got to win these games these next 2 months. Everybody says it's a
room for Nova against BYU. You guys got to beat BYU. Please beat BYU.
At least got to be super competitive in that game. That's a big ask.
We'll beat St. Pete's for everyone.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back next week. We'll have actual games to talk about. The season is just about here. Check out Bryan's Pirate Vibes show. It's online right now, or another episode coming out on Thursday. The same with Holding Nova. We've got talk about the Wildcats exhibitions. We also have our bold statement and bold predictions coming up for the season. That show will debut on Thursday. For Bryan Webster, David White, I'm Matt Janus. We'll talk to you in the Twitter X Spaces on Wednesday night. And until then, this has been Big East Beat.